Now that 2021 has come to an end, I thought it would be fun to sit down and talk about some of the worst interior decor trends that came about this year, in my opinion. I'm going to talk about the trends that I hated in home decor and give you some suggestions of what you could do to maybe change it up if possible and without spending a ton of money, hopefully. And if you watch my channel, you know I'm pretty judgy and opinionated on home decor that I like and dislike. So yeah, I thought this would be kind of a fun little roundup of the trends that I hated in 2021 and what you can do about it. Let's start off with a pretty obvious home decor trend that I think started maybe even before 2021, but I'm hoping it kind of settles down in the upcoming year, and that is all white walls, all white kitchens, and that also kind of includes all gray walls and gray kitchens. I don't know why we had such a neutral palette in our homes for so many years where everything was white, everything was gray, or still is. And I'm not against an all white room. Like my place is pretty much all white with few here and there painted walls. But if you're going to have an all white space, or if you have an all white space right now where your furniture is white, your rug is a neutral color, white walls, everything is muted, I think a good way to spruce this up is to add in art. Art is the easiest way to make a bland room have a little bit of pop. And I'm not saying you have to get this crazy colorful art, but get something, something like this to stick up on your wall. Go find some vintage art at a thrift store. Art really helps a really bland room feel more eclectic, I guess. So if you're sick of your all white space, go invest in some art or go thrift some art, and I swear it will completely transform the room. Another way to make your all white room feel just a little bit more lively is adding in some fun patterned throw pillows or just a throw in general. Kind of the little things that you can add into a room that doesn't cost you a ton, because an all white room is nice. It's just when everything else is bland around it where it just feels blah and farmhouse. And I don't know. I never really partook in the all white trend. Another trend that I really disliked this year was kitchens that had a ton of gold. Gold chandeliers, gold handles, gold faucets. Everything was gold and white and marble, whatever. I don't hate gold. I just think if you're going to incorporate gold in your kitchen, just make sure to do an aged brass, a more brassy, vintage type feel. The really like shiny gold is very dated to me, and it also just feels pretty cheap, in my opinion. So I guess if you've already invested in an all gold kitchen, instead of redoing the whole kitchen, maybe just replace your faucet with a nice aged brass faucet instead of the shiny type. Brass that ages also is just timeless, and the upkeep is super easy because it kind of, the dirty look is what it's supposed to look like. So yeah, sorry to everyone who has an all white kitchen with the fake marble and the really, really shiny gold features. I dislike that trend. My friend Kate and I were talking about this next trend the other day because it's just a wild, weird trend that I don't know who introduced into this world. And we're talking about very dull children's rooms and toys. The children that play with non-colorful building blocks, who wear a nice linen overall set. I mean, it's nice, but there's no color. There's no fun to it. So if you have a very dull kids' playroom and you want to spruce it up a bit, I think the easiest way to add color without adding in like cheap plasticky toys is to frame your kids' art. You can make art together and like kind of curate the colors if you really wanted to. Like sit down and do some finger painting with only greens, navy blues, and yellows. Then frame it, put it up on the wall. And I really like an all kids handmade gallery wall. So I'm not saying go buy a bunch of plasticky like Disney toys. I'm just saying add in some fun colors so your kids can, have a playroom instead of feeling like you're on Little House on the Prairie. Such a weird trend. This trend I also feel like has been around for quite a while, and that is A, the Tom Ford coffee book, B, a little wooden bowl with a wooden like ball necklace hanging off of it, and C, the link chain that you see on a bookshelf or on a coffee table. It's really interesting to me to see like a very specific thing like a Tom Ford book go crazy where everyone needed to have the Tom Ford book on their coffee table. There are so many cool, unique photography books that are all over the internet, or fashion books or whatever, and interior design books. I think it's super easy to curate your coffee table with more unique things, unique books, unique artifacts. Sure, still have that little wooden bowl. Maybe don't include the beads. And the chain isn't unique at all. You could definitely find a cool artifact at your local antique store. Now, if you watch any of my previous videos, I've mentioned all of these types of trends, these DIY trends before, but I wanted to quickly touch base on all of the TikTok trends that came about this year that so many people participated in, and I'm so glad to see them go. I recently was on TikTok and I saw people were painting over their lovely arches, which is my absolute most hated trend that happened on TikTok this year, where everyone was painting a weird burnt orange arch. So glad to see those go. Then we had the foam mirrors. I feel like even if you tried to sell these on Facebook Marketplace, they wouldn't even sell. That's how out of style they are at this point. The tiled tables, not terrible. If you have like a young teen or they're in your college dorm, I think that's a fun way to incorporate a tiled table. But again, if you have one in your family room, it's just cheap, and I don't know, try selling it. I made a tiled squatty potty when those first became like a thing, and it was so heavy that I ended up throwing it out because it was just the heaviest squatty potty. I couldn't even tuck it back under my toilet after, I did the deed. So yeah, basically my alternative suggestion to all of those TikTok trends are just to sell them or donate them. Now let's touch base on Boucle. I think that's how you pronounce it, Boucle. I have a Boucle chair myself that you probably saw in my like photo shoot video, and I love it. I love it because it's not like a creamy type Boucle. It's more of like a mustard yellow, which is a little different, and it's real Boucle. I think where people go wrong is getting that like teddy bear kind of fabric where it's like really like thick, and it's just not the correct fabric. And I think that's where a lot of brands and people went wrong with this trend, investing in chairs that looked like this, whereas they should have been investing in chairs that looked like this. So I guess if you have a teddy bear chair, I think those would look nice in like a teen room or in a basement or something for like a little bit younger of age. For some reason this year, I feel like everyone was painting their natural wood or covering up their brick walls, which is pretty crazy to me. If you have a house that has natural wood walls or has trim, I'm not against painting it white. Sometimes I do think that looks nice, but wood is one of those things that come and go really, really quickly. Like this type of wood might be in 1 year and then it's super out, but then it comes back. Wood walls, floors, trim, all go in and out of style. So if you have a house that has really, really amazing wood trim, maybe just stop and reconsider before you paint it white. In the end, what I suggest is keep as much authentic things as possible, unless it's so bad that it needs to be redone or painted. I swear the wood trends go really, really quickly, and having something that's nicely done and authentic is the way to go. The last trend I want to talk about is Limewash. This feels like a newer trend, like it's kind of the end of 2021, but it's gonna cross over into 2022. So I'm here to tell you now, stop lime washing. And if you're going to put it in like a small room, like a laundry room or a bathroom, just be prepared that you're going to want to paint over it. So yeah, I'm here to warn you, don't participate in the lime wash trend unless you do very small amounts. I feel like I touched base on all of the trends that I really, really hate. There's probably more I could go into, but this felt like the most popular stuff that happened in 2021. For 2022, it looks like a lot of eclectic and traditional styles are coming back, which I'm super excited about. No more minimalism, more maximalism, And I would say that's more on the line of my style. I like a lot of art, I like a lot of artifacts, and I love the mixing of patterns and incorporating colors. So I'm glad this like whole minimalist, weird white wall, white couch, white floor trend is kind of a fading out. I'm excited to see what people do with their homes, I guess, in the upcoming year now that, being fun is back in style, I guess. So, all right. Well, that's it. Happy New Year. Hopefully, you didn't do all of these trends to your house and now you're like, shit. I mean, it's just my opinion, so do what you want in the end. You've seen the goo a few different times, but here she is one last time. My ratty old little lady. Magoy. Ms. Honey. Ms. Agoy. Ms. Agoo. Magoy. Goo. Chloe. That's her real name. Chloe. I think she's getting a little overheated with my new lighting system is making this room very hot. All right. Bye.